Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, Special Assistant to the Mayor for Community, Culture, and Belonging.
And I'm Sarah Schneider, Mobility Manager with Valley Transit.
And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together.
Timber, I do have to say one of the benefits of being a co-host with you is knowing who our guest is in advance. And I have one word to describe who we are going to be talking to today, and that is passion.
Facts. No argument from over here. I am very excited to talk about today's organization just because I've been able to see the good that they have done and the impact that they've had within the community. And I think it's important for the rest of the community to find out. So,
I agree.
Yeah. So this week's guest is Kristen Kelly, the Executive Director and Co-Founder for People of Progression. Hey, Kristen, what's going on?
Well, hello. I'm good, and thank you for having me. And I'm also honored to be a guest. Thanks for re-inviting me since I canceled on y'all last time.
we didn't need to tell them. And at the end of the day, it never matters as long as eventually you make it to the microphone.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Can you please tell us a little something about yourself and your association with Appleton and the surrounding Fox Cities region? Now, can you please tell us about your resource?
So a little bit about myself. I definitely feel like I've lived many lives already. I learn a lot from each of my experiences here in the Fox Valley as well as other places that I've lived around the country. I've had a long journey of finding myself so far, and I'm proud to say that today I'm a visionary, a builder, a disruptor, an advocate for other people, and an aspiring decolonizer. I was raised in Kaukauna, and especially during the 1990s, I was raised with my biological mother and my adopted father, both of who are white. And my biological father is Jamaican. He was deported when I was really young. My childhood had a lot of different challenges, some different traumas, particularly in school with peers, which even though some was really negative, it impacted my identity and my self-esteem and really brought me to where I am today. As a young girl, I unfortunately experienced a sexual assault that was set up by my peers, and when I was in mainly white spaces, and I'd also experienced a lot of racial violence by people who were supposed to be safe people around me. So although this is a start with a little bit of a dim light, but it's really who impacted me and how they impacted me and why I pride myself on building community for other people today. When I was a kid, that impact had then kind of led into me experiencing domestic abuse in my early relationships. Those formative experiences had definitely shaped who I am and the passions that I have. And building community spaces is truly something that I want to continue doing. It's what brings me healing and peace, and also healing other people holistically and supporting others the way that they need, and maybe the way that I needed.
Can you please tell us about your resource?
Sure. So People of Progression, we're a Black-led nonprofit organization that was founded in 2020 by a lot of community leaders like myself during the challenging time of COVID-19, the pandemic. We all remember that and don't want to go back. And also the aftermath of George Floyd's murder. We witnessed a lot of youth and elders that were suffering from trauma and isolation at that time. And People of Progression was established to provide support to those folks, ourselves, as well as our broader community.
Kristen, I'm curious. When you speak of the Black community, are you referring to all ages, or because your youth was so impressionable, is that who you are primarily serving?
Yes, it's all ages of Black community members. We do serve everyone in the community with domestic violence, sexual assault services. we are mainly an anti-violence service organization. So we do serve everyone, and we've created and built spaces that are predominantly for African Americans because we believe that the fact that there's been a gap in having those spaces, that it's really necessary for us to build them for people to feel safe to be truly who they are.
I happen to know that that is not all y'all do, and there's many things that you do. So what are some of the other initiatives and programming that People of Progression does?
So I think I want to go back just a little bit to my feeling of calling. I left the corporate world to join this nonprofit sector, and that started with being Black outreach advocate at a local domestic violence program. And so telling a little bit of a story there, during my time there, I noticed that there was a lot of gaps in services and resources, especially for people of color, not only at my workplace, but also at other anti-violence programs in the whole Tri-County area. So we struggled a lot of times to serve African Americans in ways that resonated with their identity and their cultural background and their complex barriers that they were experiencing here in the Fox Valley. So I quickly realized that the people that I was serving who were chronically experiencing patterns of abusive relationships, homelessness, sometimes addiction, that they didn't have the support that they could trust. So the resources that they needed to feel good about themselves with dignity and respect, even though organizations were trying to build that, there was still gaps. And we wanted to make sure, and with my positions and partnerships that I was trying to make, I was trying to have honesty and transparency being at the forefront and being able to understand unique barriers that people were experiencing that came along with their compounded trauma. And not all of the community understood that. So it really ignited a passion within me to do that. So because of this, we spent the past 5 years forming our mission to what it is today, which is to build a collective voice, resources, and collaborative partnerships so African Americans and all people reach their full potential, lead healthy lives, and live safely within their communities.
What are some of those initiatives and programming that People of Progression does?
So we have 3 different focus areas. One is support and advocacy services. And we also do youth prevention education, which is for substance use prevention, as well as trying to create spaces for youth to learn what healthy relationships are versus unhealthy relationships, as well as other preventative measures. We don't want kids smoking tobacco and harming their bodies. So we also do suicide prevention efforts as well, and building holistic mental health spaces. So we have different peer support groups, which I can talk more about, and community events to build movement within our community.
Kristen, being inquisitive, I would love for you to expound a little bit more on your reference to identity and cultural backgrounds and those aspects that are barriers or made it challenging to find safe spaces.
Yes. So the challenge with finding safe spaces here in the Fox Valley is that there wasn't necessarily a space that people could just go and find before. There wasn't an address, there wasn't a place to call, there wasn't a physical location. So when we were forming around our mission, we decided right away, like, we need a physical location. We need a place for whoever that may be. And it also might be somebody who has Black kids, but maybe they're not Black, or organization who wants to do better work serving different people of color, that they'd have a place to call to. So we filled that gap by having a physical location. It started in Appleton, and now we're in, thankfully, 2-story, 5,000 square foot community center in the Menasha area. And it's actually right down the street from the Boys and Girls Club and the Menasha Library, which is a great location for us. And we've now began building that community and having that location for people to find us.
Thank you.
There's 2 terms that you used, and I think I want to ask more about it, or ask you to expound on those, because I really want the listeners to really know, what are these resources? Because there's going to be people listening and they might know people, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what? I didn't know they did that. So I can direct them to People of Progression. So one of them is, what are some of those peer support groups? Because that's pretty important stuff.
Most definitely. So We have a biracial support group that myself and Katie Husky from Purple Lotus Counseling, she's a clinical therapist and owns her own practice. She and I facilitate that group, and that has been an amazing space. One of our largest support groups, having a space for majority women, and also trans folks are also welcome in that space. And we've been building a community of biracial folks. You know, I have lived experience in the area with being biracial, so that's been a huge resource. That happens on the first and third Fridays of the month. And also we have a Black Queens Fix Our Crowns group that is facilitated by two of our advocacy staff, and they have built this around healthy relationships and finding your true self again after harm has happened in your life. And not that everyone needs fixing. It's not about the fix your crown, but it's really helping other queens fix the crowns of other queens and remind each other who you are and create a supportive space. We also have a book club for Black men, and that has been just getting off of the ground. It's been an amazing ride so far. Elijah, our community engagement manager, hosts that space, and it's virtual currently, and they've been going through different authored novels by Black authors or historians as well, and they've been picking apart the different chapters of what the book means, as well as how they can apply different things to their lives, or really looking at the philosophical way to look at each one of the experiences of the person in the book.
Okay, and the other word that you've used interwoven here throughout is advocacy. What do those advocacy services look like? Because I don't think people always know, what does that mean? I think you hear the term. What does that look like for people of progression when they're providing advocacy?
So we've really prided ourselves, and it took a while to get here, but we have individualized services for all Black diversities. So although we serve everyone, we're trying to fill the gaps in services that we've witnessed at other organizations and be able to be co-advocates. So when, let's say that somebody comes in who's moved here from an inner city environment, they don't have the same experience that I have as a biracial person who grew up in Kaukauna. So our advocates have trained themselves up, learned and really loved on people to learn more about other people's experiences. And then we also refer to people inside and outside of our organization who could also have similar experiences, while also holding confidentiality and trust really near and dear to our hearts, as well as for our survivors that we provide services to. So individualizing that approach is paramount, because the Black community is not a monolith. And it also helps uplift the other people who we serve, because when you look through that lens, every community of people is different. Like, everyone's different. Everyone has different experiences, whether you're a white person who's from Chicago versus Appleton. Like, your experiences are different. So someone that you're talking to, they might not make sense from a rural area to an inner city area. So we've really taken pride in providing advocacy that way.
That's outstanding, and thank you, because after that answer and all of the information you've just unpacked about your organization, could you help us connect all of that to a story or a narrative, something that would help us kind of understand exactly how you make an impact in someone you've helped?
Sure. So really our organization goes beyond direct service provision. We lead systemic change, we're collaborating with thought partners, and we're building community and building movement. We work alongside the community that we serve, and that's not just, we don't like empowerment. We don't want charity, we want solidarity. So we support the people that we serve to become part of the solution as well. Each one of the groups that I just spoke about, people that are going to those groups are also applying themselves then, once they've found some healing, to also be part of our mission. So it's not just serve somebody and then they go out the door. They're coming back every day to become part of what we're doing. And that's why we know that we're really building movement in the community. Our individual lived experiences as our team, and then the people who are coming alongside us have really taught us that everyone can create change. But having a supportive community and trusted allies is really crucial. So before our organization existed, there was, like I said, not a location or a walk-in space. And that's truly changing, and people are reaching one and teaching one and creating a positive ripple effect that is supporting the entire community.
How big's your team?
I think we're 7 now. We are 7. We're a strong 7.
With many hats, it
Yes,
sounds like.
yes, 7 with many hats.
All right. And yes, and I mean those positions that they hold, can you share some of those positions? Because they are particularly focused on some of the missions of POP.
Yes. So Sierra is our support services supervisor. She was brought on our team this last year to really help not only me with leadership, but help the team stay teaming. So she's really been not only like a firecracker with all of us, but also a leader to be able to help us create different policy and cohesiveness within our team, especially our advocacy team. And then the rest of the advocacy team that Sierra works with is Kim, who she's our lead support services advocate, but Kim has been one of the best advocates in the entire Tri-County region. And if you've worked with her or been a co-advocate alongside her from another org, you know how hard she goes for the people that she serves. It's always, you love her or you might not be doing your job. One of the two. But Elijah, our community engagement manager, he really helps managing relationships with different partners, as well as he manages a project called Thriving Neighbors, Thriving Kids. And he's working in the community, asking different action groups and different communities of people who are trying to build like civic muscle and create solutions for themselves. He has been helping them along with creating action. So really asking questions about what can you do by yourself? What do you need a little bit of help doing? And then what do you actually need a system to do for you? So that's been a really amazing journey of a project. And it's now kind of molding in with Chloe, our suicide prevention coordinator. They have been working on the Drive Health project, and this is a 3-year project that's coming to a close soon, and it's been to reduce suicide risk factors among our Black community. And they've been working a lot with the health improvement plan, as well as different events that we've been doing to build community together, and their projects have been getting pretty cohesive, which it's really cool to see a project come together with another project when you had no intention of that starting at the very beginning. So, and it's good that they like each other. So it's not like, a non-cohesive structure. And also we are just bringing on Courtney, who is going to be our youth prevention and evaluation coordinator. We're really, really excited to have her on and start building our first very substantial youth prevention education workshops, as well as partnership with Winnebago County Youth Justice, and we'll be working with, or Courtney and the rest of the team will be working with possibly up to 50 justice-impacted youth, and we're really looking forward to creating change and helping support those young people.
This is good because this is the perfect transition. Are there any upcoming initiatives, events, or engagement opportunities?
So we have a bunch of signature events. I'm always saying, like, we need to get rid of an event because we do too many events. But I think that building community and doing that outreach is really, really important. So sometimes we stress ourselves out a bit or go a little bit over capacity, but thankfully that's where the community jumps in. So we've been pretty happy about that. Our events annually are Afro Hair Fair, and that's during Black History Month. It's usually towards the end of the month. The Afro Hair Fair actually was founded because of going back to part of the when I spoke about working in domestic violence programs. I had noticed that there was not one shelter or program that was giving out hygiene products. I could not find one 3 years ago that had Afro-textured hair products. And right away I was like, what? So when people go into shelter, they don't get a bonnet? They don't get a hair pick or curl cream? I wouldn't want to leave a shelter with less hair than I had when I walked in. So right away, I started getting on the phone with other people and other advocates across the Fox Valley region and started putting our heads together and trying to get increased donations. Because I didn't realize at first, sometimes we get all riled up and we're like, we need to do something about this and they're doing it all wrong. But I'm glad that I had thought right away to think, what isn't happening that made this happen? And it truly, the answer was simple. It was the community didn't know that black hair care products were needed. And that was it. So we created the event for the Afro Hair Fair to be able to increase that awareness. Now during Black History Month, you'll see flyers all over the place, donation drives all over the place. Basil Cafe does a donation drive. Commodore Club does a donation drive. And then also now this year, Harbor House, Christine Ann Center, Pillars, Levin, they all joined to also raise awareness and to have their sites also be receiving products. And also, I'm not sure if I said Christine Ann Shelter, but they are in there too. So we don't want all the products at People of Progression. We want the people who need it to have it. So donate the products there because they need them every day, not just during Black History Month. And we also have Culture in the Valley, which is a newer event, but it is an annual event. We wanted Culture in the Valley to exist because we realized that the arts community and African Americans in the arts, which there's a lot. There's a lot of artists. There's a lot of spoken word folks. There's a lot of rappers, painters, photographers. And when they found us at our building, because folks would come by and just want to see about us, I started asking, oh, you're an artist. Do you want to put some paintings on our wall? You can sell them here. A bunch of them around the same time said, I would love that. And there's never been a place that I've known that could take my art and sell it. Or I don't know of a place to find other artists like me. So right away, we put our heads together as a team and thought, you know what, let's make an event, call it Culture in the Valley. We host it in the fall, and it was at Jones Park last year, but we're looking to actually partner with some Black-owned businesses that might be set up to be able to have the event at their space. So definitely look out for a change-up for this year, and we want to make sure that we're also helping the economics behind our community as well and creating more of a financial resource for those businesses as well. And we do third Thursdays at the Commodore Club. That has been a huge resource for community. We have had about 25 to 35 on maybe even a slow third Thursday for Black business professionals, and we've been hosting this at the Commodore Club. So it's been really important because myself and others who have also been in corporate, I used to be in corporate, and the turnover rate in our area in corporate settings is huge. Now that I've noticed it and paid attention to the trend for a few years, I've really realized that most people have a 2-year turnaround time, especially if you're a Black male in the area, single too, that there's a huge turnover rate, and we don't want to lose super talented folks who are moving here from other areas. We don't want to lose them. So once we were asking around to different people, like, why are you going to move out of the area? And not trying to badger them, like, don't move, don't. I maybe did that a couple times. But so in asking people when they found other job opportunities in Chicago or Minneapolis or maybe even back in southern states that, yeah, I didn't find my people. I wasn't able to find other people at the time, and it's just a better opportunity for me to move somewhere else and be able to be with my community. So that was really hard to hear, but we decided as a team that we can change that. So we got together with Timber Smith and Timber Smith, as well as Jesus Smith, who is the associate professor at Lawrence University. And when we got together, that it was really good, and we knocked out right away thinking that, you know what, this event could be something really special, and we're really thankful that we've now made it a year. A lot of other opportunities like this or similar to this have dissipated, so it's great. We feel like it's an accomplishment that we've been able to be around this long. Also, we've done, just touching on, we did Ubuntu, a holiday gathering. That's going to be a yearly event. That's to bring people together as one. So really making sure that around the holidays, which can be really difficult for some families, like myself too, where I might not feel community around the holidays, and I have a really small family. So building that connection with other community members is what we're trying to do with the holiday gathering. And during the summer, we also do pop-outs, which are another movement building type of event. We are doing those at our community center. In the back of our community center, we got a back lot. We pop out the grill, have a barbecue, and just know you are invited to the barbecue. So you can come. It's fine.
We're going to do it.
Okay.
What do you, yeah. Timber doesn't play about barbecue.
Are you bringing something for the grill, though?
My apron.
Okay. Okay, we got the tools. You'll bring the apron.
Yeah, I can work a grill. I'm nice.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Facts.
I just eat, so I'm coming for the food.
Sometimes I'm that dude, too.
I love it. I am curious if there's anything for all of those events and all of the programs, what can the community do to be helpful?
So the community can definitely show up to volunteer. You can volunteer with us by emailing us at info@peopleofprogression.org. We're really responsive on there, so if you wanted to just inquire of how you could volunteer, there's always things that we need, where if we get furniture delivered, just helping us put together some things. Or we also have a community garden that we excavated a space in the back of our building, so helping us keep that thriving throughout the summer. We also are the location for the Hope Fridge. So also in our back lot is a 24/7 community fridge that you can give what you can, take what you need if you need to take anything. There's shelves on it for non-perishables, and then, of course, filling the fridge and the freezer. We just don't take anything that's already made if you don't have an ingredients list on it. If you have an ingredients list, that's great. Slap that on there. But we don't take raw meat or anything that would be non-sanitary if it, like, dropped in the fridge or something. We want to keep people safe and stay up to code. Otherwise, I have to report to Timber.
What?
Just kidding. I had to throw that in there.
Wait a minute. I was going to say that's new to Timber.
Yeah. So just those are great ways to give back and help us out. Also donating hygiene products, Afro textured hair care products. Also books. We have a small library in our office too. We want all the books. I know that there's a lot of dilemma and things about books right now in our history and things like that. We definitely want books authored by Black authors and historians and journalists. So if you have anything that is on your shelf that you have not dusted off and you just want to give it somewhere, please give it to us. And thinking about other opportunities, I think that's about it. But truly, if you are just even thinking about it, don't hesitate to reach out to us, and I'm sure that we can collaborate on something.
Facts. Well, how can they contact you?
You can contact us through our email at info@peopleofprogression.org. Also, you can go to our website. We have a lot of our services and opportunities are on our website. There's a community calendar out there too. That's www.peopleofprogression.com. And we also take walk-ins as well. So if you come to our office, if the door is locked and you see cars, feel free to knock. Because if I'm the only one there, I am not keeping that door open, but I will answer to a knock. So just come on over, and if there's anything that you need, especially if you're somebody who's seeking services or needs support, always feel free to just come over and reach out to us or come to our building.
Very cool.
Is there any additional information that you feel is important to share with the Appleton Engage listeners that maybe we didn't ask a question about?
Sure. I think some other things, thinking about giving back to, it's not necessarily give back. We want to give back to the students in the Fox Valley as well. So if there's internship opportunities where we're able to help you through an internship with us, that's something that we're definitely looking out for. We have people on our team right now who were interns at local colleges, and we love being able to have somebody that learns about us through an internship and then decides to stay in our area rather than even going back to maybe another city or a different state even, and being able to keep those professional folks here and have that experience of somebody who might not have even grown up here to become part of our community and give to our community with the experience that they have. So we definitely would look forward to interns. Other things that I might not have touched on would be, we are really priding ourselves on co-advocacy. So if you might be working with, if you're in a nonprofit, whether that's advocacy or working with youth or even in public health or other social services organizations, and you're working with someone who's African American and you're hearing, or somebody that you know in your organization is, and you're hearing challenges and I'm not sure how to work through this, we're the people that you call. Call us, email us. You can reach out to us by phone or by text, and that I don't think I gave, but our contact number is 920-815-9487, and that's a warm line, so it's only on during our business hours, but you can reach out to us and speak to somebody right away. And if you have a survivor you're serving or somebody who needs additional support, we want to provide that in partnership with you. We aren't an organization who just you refer somebody to and then we don't want to hear from you. And we're not an organization who refers somebody to you and then you no longer hear from us. We walk alongside people together and hold each other accountable to provide the services that everyone in the community needs. And we think that that is how we really uplift the dignity and respect of people and that we don't just drop them in the process. So we would really enjoy if people would work together with us on that. Co-advocacy is where it's at.
Wow, that is so awesome. You've shared so much information, and I know you don't do it alone. So this is an opportunity for you to give shout outs and credit to those who make this incredible work possible.
Definitely. I want to give some shout outs. I already shouted out most of the team, but Sierra, Kim, Siobhan, Elijah, Chloe, they're a part of our team, as well as Courtney's coming on. I want to shout out a special person, Takita Pritchard, who is a hairapist. I call her a hairapist. She is a hairapist.
That's cool.
She's someone who's been in this community doing hair, but truly providing peer mental health support from behind the chair. And she, I think, is one of the best volunteers in the Fox Valley, is always doing her heart's work. So I want to give her a special shout out, as well as our board members. We could not do anything that we're doing without really proficient board and having that strategic direction and people at the table who really care about our mission. So I want to shout them out, as well as a couple of really important people in my life personally, which people of progression I don't believe would exist if not for them, which is Robin Scott, the executive director and founder of We All Rise, the African American Resource Center, and Kathy Flores, who actually, Timber, Kathy Flores was your, what is it called? Predecessor. So Kathy Flores used to work here at the city, and she's one of my really important mentors, as well as William Green. Without him being in the trenches with me at midnight writing grants and teaching me how to write grants, I don't think that I would have made it to today and being able to fundraise for our organization. So a special shout out to him. And also our donors. We absolutely love our relationships with the Basic Needs Giving Partnership, U.S. Venture, NeighborWorks Green Bay, who isn't necessarily a donor, but they are a co-conspirator and a thought partner with us on one of our projects, as well as the Community Foundation. Couldn't do this without them. They were one of our earliest supporters and trusted us with serving the Black community, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. So very thankful for them and our entire community. Without community, none of this would be possible. We're here because they are, and we want to just continue to bring the community along with us and take leadership from the community, because it's not about us leading everyone. It's about the community telling us what they need and us doing it.
Facts. That was awesome. All right. Well, Kristen, we just want to say at this time to you, thank you. Appleton Engaged listeners, we're going to start wrapping up this episode. So we want to say to you, thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and ears. Thank you for caring about another amazing community resource, helping to make Appleton and the surrounding area a better place. We can't do this alone. We always need your help to be better, whether it's these organizations or by being an Appleton Engaged listener. So what can you do to help us? Because you know what we're trying to do. We're trying to become the #1 podcast in Northeast Wisconsin. So ways you can contribute is simple. If you are listening right now and you've got questions you wish we would have asked, let us know for future episodes. If you would like to be a guest, let us know. If you would like to recommend a guest, let us know. And you can let us know by emailing us at belonging@appletonwi.gov. Once again, that was belonging@appletonwi.gov. Then there's a few more things. We think the real impact of having this resource known as Appleton Engaged, the podcast, is that the more community members that are listening about it, the more informed our community is, the more connected we are, therefore a stronger community we are. So how do we do that? It's called analytics. So I need you, while you're listening to this episode right now, take a moment, and if you see the opportunity, give us 5 stars. If you've got a few more moments, fill out a review. And if there's a big subscribe button sitting there in front of whatever device you're listening to us on, hit the subscribe button. These are all actions that improve our analytics. And the better our analytics, the more people get to learn about this amazing resource known as Appleton Engaged, the podcast.
And I'm going to use Kristen's words: create change for solidarity. So until next time, stay connected, get involved, and be engaged.